Bonjour Fr1. I hope you guys are doing okay. This video will be talking about your week 2 choice board options. Um, so I have a little bit of a different venue, as you see. I'm probably very backlit and I am very sorry, but let's go ahead and dive into this. And again, just like last week, probably not going to be able to see exactly what I'm seeing because of the lighting and all that, but if you want to roughly follow along where I roughly am in this video, please do. So first activity, you guys have the option. Let me get that light behind my head. Maybe that's a good idea. There we go. First option is to make a fortune teller. So way back when we made those fortune tellers for être and avoir, where it's like the little paper thing that you can clap open and do that, and then you pull open a flap for review. I'm going to be making a video tutorial on how to do that again, in case you guys need those instructions. For this one, instead of être and avoir, you're going to be doing faire and aller, to do and make, and to go. And once you have made it, I would like you to practice with it and practice in a way that I can see it. So if you'll take a recording of you opening and practicing using a dice or something with your fortune teller, just so that I can kind of see that you're thinking about the conjugation before you say it, and then you open up the flap and go, oh, I was right, or if I wasn't right, what did I mess up? Because we learn from our mistakes. We always learn from our mistakes. Just like I learned that maybe I should have my window open to avoid CO2 poisoning in my house. Yay! Anyway, second activity. I am asking you guys to think about your day and make a schedule of it. So kind of like whenever we did that emploi de temps de Hélène, that big chart where you were reading the statements and filling it out to say whenever Hélène had whatever classes. This is kind of similar, but it's much more personal. And I'm asking you guys to take track of 7 activities that you do in the day or over 2 days. You know, if you just kind of are like me and say, I did lesson planning and took a break to watch Star Trek with my roommate. I'd live a very not interesting life, you guys. You can span it over 2 or 3 days, just 7 activities, and take a note of when you do these activities. So you'll be writing sentences like I have in the examples. In English, I would say it is 10:43 a.m. when I write an email. Il est 10h43 quand j'écris un mail. You can also, for any minute past 30 and before the hour, so like if it was 12:30 to 12:59, that time you can use a subtractive thing. So for this first example, it's 10:43 a.m. when I write an email. I could also say it is 11 a.m. minus, I can't do math, I did it in here, minus 17 minutes. So 11 minus 17 minutes is 10:43. Okay, you can say it like that too, because that's really common in a lot of Francophone cultures. It's been a long time since I've talked to people about the time, but I definitely know that I've heard it before. So in this example, it would be il est 11h moins 17 quand j'écris un mail. Okay? So you'll do 7 of those. You can do the subtractive time if you have a minute between 30 and 59. Otherwise, you just use normal time. So, activité 3, this is going to be having you practice your numbers as well as your places, like places to go, even though you should not be going anywhere during this quarantine time. Stay safe, stay home, keep others safe. And what I'm asking you guys to do is I've got a list of vocab in this box, And I want you guys to just draw some imaginary town. It doesn't have to be super special or super artistic or anything. Just draw a really nice little town. Um, and include at least 5 of these items. So like one's a laboratory, one's a house, one's a park, stuff like that. Include at least 5 of them in your little town plan. And you can have multiples of some things. Like you could have 20 houses if you were really feeling it. And then once you have this all drawn, I'm asking you guys to practice describing things that you see by using expression il y a, there is or there are, and using this expression 5 times to describe the 5 items that you have. And if you have more, you're welcome to do more. So I have a little example here. I have a little Microsoft Paint that I did with my touchscreen. Be very proud. I am proud of myself. And I have all of my things labeled. You should label your things just so that we both know exactly whatever you drew whenever we look back at this. And then you just explain it. So in my town, there are 3 houses. There's 1, 2, 3. Dans ma ville, il y a 3 maisons. Okay? Activité 4. So I know way back, I think I was probably in my like heavier university classes period last semester. I know that you guys looked at maps and gave directions using those maps. And I know that they were fake maps, but for this activity, you will be using real legit world maps. I'm asking you guys to look at Fredericksburg, where I'm pretty sure all of us, if not most of us, are currently living. And just give me directions from destination A to destination B. Don't use anybody's house. Don't use your house. Use public venues, okay? Okay. Like grocery stores or arcades. Is there even an arcade in Fredericksburg? I don't know. But if there was one, you could use it. Restaurants, something like that. And you're just going to give between 5 to 10 turn directions. And those can include turning left, turning right, keeping straight. And I've got an example of each of those down in the example that I have. Make sure that you're paying attention to the flow of traffic on some streets, because some streets are one-way streets, especially in downtown. And then what you can do once you have kind of your little destination, write me 7 sentences talking about the trip, talking about the place, giving those 5 directions, or recording a video giving the directions from point A to point B. So my little example is down here, talking about going from JM to Carl's, which I made this before I found out that a lot of people were still going to Carl's instead of staying home and keeping everybody safe like they should. Can you see my passive aggressive smile? So don't actually take this route. Take it imaginarily. And we'll go on to activity 5. So this one's a little bit more in depth, but I really think that this will be a good method of expanding your vocabulary and kind of answering the question of like, oh, what is this word that I use every single day? What does it mean? Kind of thing. So I also want to make sure that you guys are speaking when necessary, not all the time, because there are definitely times where you do not have to, but speaking a little bit more sophisticatedly. So having more word variety, kind of making it, putting yourself out is, very differentiated and very eloquently spoken. I can't use words right now, so don't take it from me. But what I'm asking you guys to do is record yourself speaking about one of these topics that I have listed. Just a straight 2 solid minutes. First language is fine. English, Spanish, if you have a different first language, go for it. Just 2 straight minutes. You don't have to send me that recording if you don't want to. If you do, sure. Um, but once you have that recording, 2 solid minutes, no pauses, anything, stop it, listen back to it, and write down everything that you say, word for word. Okay? Um, Now, whenever you come to a contraction like it's, there, y'all, spell those out. You all, there are, it is, that kind of thing. Because once you have your transcription done, I'm asking you guys to go to this website called Tag Crowd. It was secure the last time I checked, so it should be good. And copy paste your text into the little box that's there, click the button visualize, and it will look at what you've written and it will pick out the words that you use the most. And it'll make this visual. Typically they're called word clouds, but this is more like it's a line. And the words that you use more often will be bigger. And words that you don't use so often will be smaller. And this will just help you see like, oh, wow, I'm really using this word a lot. I should probably try to think of something else, which comes to the next point. Take your 5 most used words and go to the thesaurus. I've got the thesaurus website linked in here. Keep in mind that some words aren't going to have a synonym. Like if you're saying French, it's French, it's Francophone. Those are pretty much the 2 things that you could say. But other words like nice, student, stuff like that, those will definitely have synonyms. And what I want you guys to do is get at least 2 synonyms per word. Okay, so 2 words that mean the same thing, but they're more varied in what the words actually are. Take 2 words each, so that'll be a total of 15 words that you have on this list. The 5 that you use the most frequently, and then your 2 synonyms each. 2 times 5 is 10, 10 plus 5 is 15. Use Lingway to translate all of these 15 words, okay? And then, oh, you don't have to use them in context if you don't want to. But here's my example. I've got my mini example here of a really basic text that I wrote about the classes that I teach. I've got my example word cloud that I got from that Tag Crowd site. I have an example thesaurus page. On the thesaurus page, sometimes it'll have like different contexts, like class can be said like, oh, I'm so classy, or it could be like a class of categorization, or it could be a school-based class. They'll have these little arrows here for you to switch the context to really find out like the right synonyms. And then I just have the words, I have their synonyms, I have them in my first language, and then I have them in French. There you go. So that is that for this week's choice board, for week 2's choice board. If you have any questions on them, please let me know. You're free to rewatch this video as many times as you want. I know that we don't have a view system on Microsoft Teams, but make me the most popular YouTuber on Microsoft Teams, I guess. Anyway, I hope you guys have fun with these activities. I know that some of them are a little bit more involved. But I really tried to think about things that would be interesting and also give you guys a lot of practice and really looking at the language that you use. So please be safe. Please have as much fun as you can given the current circumstances. Please let me or Madame Augeron know if you need anything, and I will see you soon digitally. À très bientôt, mes amis.